alikatwa mikono when the guy was trying to take a knife away from her.
Okay.
So that's why alikatwa, akona some cuts kwa mkono.
That doesn't make sense for me.
Hii ni On Air with presenter Ali, and of course niko na jamaa wangu nguvu kama kawaida,
Jasper Bravo aka Just Beast.
Yeah, and of course tumerudi, we are back na tutakuwa tunakupatia episodes back to back. We went for a short break, but what matters is that we are back. Lakini kuna story ambayo lazima tuiongelee because it's the main story that is trending right now here in Kenya, and I feel like we've actually pieced everything together. Na we can actually tell people who actually do not know what is happening. Na ni story ya Elias Njeru and Florence Wanjiku.
Yes.
Maybe the first time we had this story actually was from Florence Wanjiku na alikuwa hospitali.
Yes.
And there was a narrative ambayo alikuwa ametupatia. Tunaweza tukaanzia hapo.
So this is what Florence was saying. Florence is Elias's wife. Elias happens to be a pastor in Nakuru. So Elias, Florence said, according to the report that she made at the police, is that she was stabbed 12 times and some of her fingers chopped by her husband, whom she left at a restaurant which they had visited the previous night. And she said that she left the husband at the restaurant and went home.
Yes.
And her husband followed her back at home. And when the husband got there, her husband started stabbing her 12 times and cutting some of her fingers because allegedly she had knocked the guy's car, the husband's car.
Yeah.
Which is suspicious. And after she made these claims, generally, considering the fact that if you're not the only visitor in Jerusalem, you'll know that Kenya right now, one of the biggest things that people are talking about right now is the issue about femicide.
Femicide and gender-based violence.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So any type of a story that could justify this or will come in the line of those two topics, of course, will be blown out of proportion most of the time.
Yes.
And people came out gun blazing, and everybody, especially the feminists online, were like, this is another case of gender-based violence, and this guy must be brought to book. Why hasn't he be arrested? Why is he still walking around? Because it took like 2 or 3 days before he was arrested.
Yes.
So then later on, this guy decided to surrender himself to the police station.
Yes.
And when he did this, he also wrote his own statement.
Yes.
And in his statement, he produced a CCTV footage. And the CCTV footage of their building, which I'm wondering if the wife was not aware of, was kind of saying some things, had so many information, very crucial information,
yes,
that you can't help but wonder why the wife left this crucial information out of her, her statement, unless she had something to hide. And this is what happened. I know you guys are going to watch this. According to this video, as you guys have seen, is that this lady left the guy at the restaurant, which is true.
Yes.
Went home, hugged a watchman, which is weird.
She's
very
actually seen hugging the watchman
very passionately.
Very passionately.
Yes,
and
which is,
some people say that if you zoom closely, you're going to see them kissing.
Which begs a lot of questions.
My editor, do something about that. Let's try and see if it is actually true
or not. And even if it's not, hugging itself is, for me, is enough. Like,
it's a red flag.
Yeah, how do you hug your boss? I've never seen that. Then she lives with a car, which is kind of branded, which I think is a company car.
Yeah.
Probox. Then she leaves. I don't know where she went to. She knows. Then the husband,
10 minutes later,
drives in, but doesn't drive in. He decides to park outside the gate and calls the watchman, and they're seen engaging with the watchman.
Wanapiga tu story.
Maybe he's asking, has my wife arrived? Because she left me at the restaurant. I haven't seen her since.
Yes.
And then later on, the lady, like 30 minutes later, after she left, that is, the lady comes back with her car, that car Probox. Then she parks it next to the husband. Then a few minutes later, she's seen driving that car as though she wants to reverse and leave.
Yes.
But turning, she turns towards the car
and starts hitting the car.
Hitting it severally, 1, twice, thrice. Then when she goes back to reverse and hit the car again, she hits the wall. And I think that one makes the car not be able to function anymore.
The guy rushes towards the...
to go and try. The guy and the watchman tries to go and stop it. In fact, the watchman went back to try to stop her. And I think she could not listen, and the guy too tried that, and I think she stopped when maybe she was hurt or the car was hurt, either of the two. And then the guy is seen leaving, getting there's something she was carrying, which maybe she took from the car, because when he was leaving his car, we didn't see him leaving with anything. But when he came back, he had something.
Anaeka kwa boot.
Then he gets into the car. He sits there for some time. Then the watchman is seen getting into the compound, taking a car. Then before he takes the guy out, the guy is seen, the lady to the hospital, the guy is seen going to call some guys, maybe to come and see what has just happened. And then they come maybe for witness purposes. Then they come and they see that. Then the watchman later on now comes and takes the lady now to the hospital with the car, which was now parked inside. But according to the lady, she says that this guy
chopped his fingers,
but does not mention the
whole scenario. I mentioned vitu nyingi ambazo ziko kwenye CCTV.
So right now as we speak, the guy is out on bond, and the case is, I think, is to be listened to in February or something. Now, coming back to this issue, that according to analysis, after we have analyzed this issue deeply, number one of the conclusions we've come, we are not the jury and we're not the judge, because this court is before law, so we can only, it's before a court of law, so we can only talk about, we cannot get into details, but we can talk about the general things that people have seen.
Whatever is in the public domain.
Is in the public domain right now. And number one is that this lady lied about where she went to, because we saw that she went to see the watchman. So chances are this lady is cheating on the wife, on the husband, I mean. You see, which maybe is one of the things that brought issues between them. Maybe they had an issue, because it's not normal when you go out with your wife or your girlfriend, and then one of you leaves before the other. Like it's a typical whatever date, you tend to live together. So maybe there was a disagreement, according to what I've seen. There was a disagreement between these two people. And considering the fact that it's told that they drank, I think maybe the lady now came home. There are ladies who do this. After umekosana mtu wako, unaenda kwa side ili akupoeshe roho. You get? Now it goes back home to the sweetheart, which happens to be the watchman, which we see to on a hug and they're talking for some time. We don't know what they're talking about. Maybe they're planning on their next meeting or something. Then the guy also, I think, in a way, coming back home, it's not normal, bro, when you come back home to somebody who left you at the restaurant, which means maybe you had an issue. Then you park next to them. No, you park outside there because you're told they're not back. So you're like, aliniacha kwa restaurant. So where is she at? Because if you left home together and you left me at the restaurant, chances are you're supposed to be back at home, because it's at night. This is past midnight. Where can she be at? So this raises more questions, like, is it that she has also some other men that she's apart from the watchman? Because we know that cheats are cheats, but it's not about the person they're cheating on you with. Then she comes home, she doesn't even address the guy, she doesn't even talk to this guy, which means akona issues bado, which means maybe this lady also akona some anger issues, or she was super drunk. Then she starts eating this guy severally. It only takes anybody who has ever been involved in an accident, I know we wish I were involved in an accident, even a small hit on anything, let's say for instance a log on the side of the road, like it's usually a shock, and it can hurt you. Even if it doesn't, hata ukitokaga pale na feel in a way you feel kind of like you just skipped death, for lack of a better word. So in a way, looking at all this and the fact that this lady did not
hit the car once, and hit severally.
Now it
raises the question here.
Maybe according to me, I think she was hurt in this, and why I believe that she was hurt in this hitting of the car. Number one, I hit the car more than once. It was in high speed. Number two, and then the car stopped. Number two, we didn't see this guy going there with a panga
or anything.
Alitoka tu. Number three, somebody mwenye amekatwa na panga 12 times, and this is the rage, because according to what this lady is saying, it was out of rage. Mtu kuwa umenifanyia kitu mbaya, if I cut you 12 times out of rage, it's assume I won't be doing it softly. I'll be doing it
unless the panga is very blunt.
Unless it's super blunt. And hata kama iko blunt aje. Then this lady cuts you, and the same day the lady anaweza kuongea. Somebody has been stabbed 12 times in the stomach cannot talk. Will be nice to you for some times, especially with the panga, something this long, assuming there's a very short panga. And then this guy, if I'm really guilty, and I don't believe this guy is stupid. Somebody can think that I'm speaking this way because I'm a man, but it has nothing to do with that, because this could happen to my sister too.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the story from both sides. This guy, after all this happens, the first thing he does, he goes and looks for people to come and witness this.
Yes.
Guilty people don't do this. Unless this guy is psycho. Somebody who is guilty will look for how to clean the mess very fast and, if possible, run away.
True.
So that as little as possible of evidence is found.
Yes.
And also, somebody also could argue that, oh, maybe the guy knew that there was a CCTV that was seeing all this. So he had to go and call these people so that it can look like he didn't do anything. But if he did anything, was he going to do this next to the watchman washing it? And the watchman don't do anything. And the lady making all these claims, I believe that she was making these claims because Makio, until this moment, the watchman has refused to talk. Because I think he doesn't want to take sides. Because maybe he's seeing that the girl who happens to be his mistress is the person who is guilty right now.
Unaweza pata huu watchman pia kwa na bibi na familia. Sasa anashangaa,
nikionekana kwa kamera.
Sasa nitakuwa na kesi ingine ya kuanza nilihagiana huko.
Kwanza hiyo ndio kubwa.
So ideally I think pia the fact that there are things that it looks like she mentioned, akasema kwamba the fingers were chopped.
Yes. Let's place akishika ile nini.
Inaonekana bado kuna
vidole na MPESA. Vidole ziko zote.
Vidole ziko zote. And then pia the fact there's a point that she said that the man threatened her that he was going to kill the kid.
Okay.
Yeah, that is what she said. And then I think it is a twist of stories, and we really do not cannot say that clearly that this is what happened.
Yeah, you can only make assumptions.
Only the two of them know what happened pale kwa restaurant.
Yes.
But the only things that we saw is her hugging the watchman, her hitting the car severally. And probably inaweza kweli cause impact, glasses zikaruka zikamkata or something of that sort. What is just I saw a comment somewhere on TikTok, and I don't know if it's true. Someone said alikatwa mikono when the guy was trying to take a knife away from her.
Okay.
So that's why alikatwa, akona some cuts kwa mkono.
That doesn't make sense for me. Because if you watch that video very carefully, it was really quick.
Hizo vitu zilihappen haraka
sana. The guy went and the car was moving, and by the time the car stopped, the guy did not even take a minute. He just left the place.
Yeah.
There's no moment like we saw even movement, like from the CCTV footage, you could see if somebody is doing something, like let's say struggling or they're fighting, you could see, but you never saw that. We just saw somebody trying to hold the door and a person driving. That's all we could see. Even then, considering the fact that the watchman was there, is there a possibility of the guy stabbing the lady severally and the watchman is just seated there watching?
No. What I'm saying is the lady had a knife
while driving at the same time.
Maybe alikuwa ameiweka mahali. I don't know. And then the guy alikuwa anajaribu kumnyang'anya knife. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. Because it was really quick. It was really quick.
But we really hope that justice is served
for sure
for both of them, because justice wanasemaga inatagwaje justice ni kama msumeno.
Inafaa kata mbele na nyuma.
Sheria ni kama msumeno, inakata mbele na nyuma.
Which means it doesn't matter who is wrong.
Yes. Whoever is wrong, apite nayo.
Yeah.
And it also means that it is a scale. Like mwenye ametendewa na mwenye ametenda, both of them need justice.
Yes, both of them.
Yes, so we hope that we've actually tried our best to tell this story the way it was. You're going to see a few footages, you're going to see a few videos that are going to pierce the whole story together for you.
And about this issue, there was also something that was coming into my mind. This is just a question. It could sound controversial, but do you think that if it was a lady who was on the receiving end, this issue could have been taken really quick like that before finding out everything?
True.
Yeah. Could it have been the case?
I'm looking at it this way.
Yeah.
If in two ways,
Yeah.
If the man alikuwa hosi akisema hii kitu yote imemwapenia, it wouldn't be such of a big story, and we wouldn't see many people
Talking
speak about
that
it.
one, yeah.
That is the first thing.
Yeah.
But trust me, if it was the man seen hitting the lady's car,
Yes, exactly.
the way this lady was
hitting
hitting this man's
In
car.
fact, it could have been attempted murder. They could have said that you wanted to murder the lady.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we at some point, I don't know if it's okay to say this, but tushajikubali kama wanaume.
Yeah.
Sometimes
life is a bit difficult for us. It's a bit hard down for us.
Like things are just tough for us.
Yeah. Because right now the guy
a man anyway.
Like for instance, imagine a scenario where also these are very many scenarios which are just coming to me because it just takes one twist and turn in an event and somebody's life is destroyed for good.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining a scenario where there was no CCTV in this building. There was no CCTV.
Everyone
could have believed the lady 100%.
Hata mimi.
Yeah, and right now it could be, hey, this guy is so evil. How could
this
he do
guy
that?
is so evil?
Yeah.
And people are even talking about this guy and saying, how is he even a church leader? You
Exactly.
know, you look at him, he looks sharp in his suit and everything, but how is he? He's so ruthless. Unakatakataje?
Yeah.
You know, and I believe there are many people who are out there, you know, serving many years
For sure.
because of
over
the lack of a CCTV.
Yeah, just because somebody's word was believed over yours.
Kwa sababu hakukuwa na witnesses, lakini juu anaonekana amekatwakatwa, there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
So anytime you find yourself involved in such a scenario, please try as much as possible to get a witness.
Yes, or at least record.
I
like this.
Take your phone.
Just put it here. Like
record,
when you're doing anything,
put it on your chest. I'ma just record the audio.
Yeah,
just anything,
record something
because it might save your life.
Yeah, it's cool.
Because like right now, CCTV just saved
this guy's
the
life.
world, a man.
For sure.
Yes.
Yeah, and this also begs the question about even all these femicides they usually hear about. We don't know the other sides of the stories, and you'll never get to hear because these guys, some of them are going to be in jail for the rest of their lives. Yeah. Of course, there are those people who do that, but yes. just this story just taught me that before really you judge, because I started judging this guy really too early.
Yes.
Before I found out all this, before you really judge somebody that quick, you need to sometimes to know that there could be something that you don't know about this story. Even right now, as we are making this conclusion, chances are there could be something that we still don't know that is even deeper than this.
Yes,
you see, and also I think also to guys, there's this thing that there's this guy that a certain pastor says this, that the most important decision that a man can ever make in his life is not the job or the career you'll take, but the kind of a woman you'll marry. Because bro, right now this thing could destroy this guy's life for good. So
the person you marry really matters, eh?
For sure.
They can either make you or destroy you.
Or destroy you. Like a good example is now Will Smith.
Yes.
This guy just built a life, a career, a name. But right now, who cares about Will Smith after what his wife did to him? No one. A woman can really destroy you.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
also a woman can make you. Can build you, for sure.
A woman can either be a blessing to your life or a curse.
It's
that simple.
For sure.